The Red Dirt D&D podcast is brought to you by Pro Laser Cuts. The Oklahoma company provides pre-made and customizable design laser cut dice towers, tokens, and more, developed by a gamer for gamers, and now available to enhance your tabletop game. Pro Laser Cuts products can be found at many Oklahoma City area game stores, local events, and now available online at prolasercuts.com. That's laser and cuts with a Z, Pro Laser Cuts. And by SD Way Gaming, where dice goblins unite. Our friends at SD Way Gaming celebrate the beautiful dice players handpick for their games and splendor. SD Way Gaming has expanded to include many tabletop gaming varieties, accessories, and similar fun necessities to include a service for your dice addiction. You can shop for a variety of products at sdwaygaming.com or find SD Way Gaming on Facebook. Welcome to Red Dirt D&D. I'm Michael Cross, and I play Elias Stone, a human cleric.
I'm Connor Shenold. I play Sable, a half-elf rogue.
I'm Johnny Payne, and I play August E. Graymore, a human fighter.
I'm Carrie Hester, and I play Moxie, a tiefling bard.
And I'm Brooke Bullock, your DM. Please join us as we explore the curse of the Clockwork City. The cries of an infant at the moment of birth are heard. An elderly and kind-looking woman draws forth the crying babe and begins toweling off the newborn's face.
Oh, she's so healthy, good lungs, and pink. Oh, dearie, she's so pink, and oh.
The woman exclaims in surprise as a pink tail wraps around the midwife's wrist. Her eyes widen and dart toward the woman on the table.
Oh, Alestra, oh no.
Her voice trails off in sadness and compassion.
Oh dear.
We cut to a well-furnished house where an angry man sits at a plentiful dinner table. He looks up.
It's not staying in my house, you understand? Looking at you will be enough a reminder of what I married.
A woman with a swaddled baby in one arm and holding a pie in the other comes from the kitchen, approaches the table, and gently places the dish beside the man's table setting. She's dressed, all ready for going outside. Her elegant cloak is pinned tight about her shoulders.
It's Gooseberry, your favorite.
The man doesn't even look up.
Get that thing out of my house, Celesta, and come back free of it and free of your sin. Jatoka forgives such things. Go!
Our scene fades and changes to capture the bustling streets of a major city. In the distance, we see a towering spire of iron and copper. We fade down into the bustling streets of the foreground to be amongst workers and messengers, and we spot a little girl with bright magenta hair. Her bright pink hand is clutching the hand of Alestra, the woman from before. But we can barely recognize the elegant cloak as the same one she left the house with. It's now tattered, dirty, ragged from the elements. The woman's face is also dirty and grieved. Her eyes are searching, hoping, looking for something, a place to stay, a chance, a bit of luck, a home. The crowd moves past them both as if they're invisible. They wander the streets in and out of alleyways, and then she hears a song, a female voice coming from a tavern, and the wooden signage out front says, Siren's Song. Our camera shifts inside a tall female half-elf with mahogany dark skin, dark brown eyes, and inky black hair watches the pair enter. After a moment of scrutiny, her eyes soften as they meet Alestra's. Without a word, Rhapsody crosses the room, her presence like a shield around the fragile woman and the pink child. Alestra's led to a seat, and 2 bowls of hot stew are placed before the mother and the pink-haired little girl. Time passes, and we see a flowing montage of images. The siren song is packed with people. We see a pink-skinned tiefling with magenta hair, a young adult now, working behind the bar. She spins a bottle in the air, catches it without looking, and the crowd cheers. While she finishes that drink, a pink tail slides the glass down the bar toward a grinning customer. as another bottle and glass are juggled upwards. Her violet eyes are gleaming with energy. Meanwhile, in reserved corners of the tavern, Rhapsody the half-elf talks quietly with a forlorn woman, or at another time, with an impoverished-looking child. Another moment reveals the tiefling breathing fire, lighting up the tavern as she leaps onto a small stage, and the crowd cheers.
Moxie, Moxie, Moxie,
She juggles a knife and various fruits, slicing a lemon in midair with ease. We can sense the joy she brings to the siren song, the rush she receives from the crowd. Our view lingers just a bit longer, and we see Moxie gaze up to a balcony at Rhapsody, the half-elf who so many years ago gave Moxie and her mom a warm bowl of stew. They share a quiet smile across the raucous bar, mother and daughter in all but blood. The bright sunlit streets of Ironspire are in stark contrast to the dim tavern. Moxie, arms full of groceries, pauses as her gaze falls on a scrappy child staring longingly at a food stall. The camera zooms in on the child's hollow cheeks and wide eyes and the stunted elven ears of someone with mixed ancestry. Moxie's expression softens with recognition. She knows he may look 10 years old, but as a half-elf, he'd emotionally be much younger. Moxie crouches beside the child, offering a gentle smile.
What's your name?
Callan?
You look bored. Do you want something to do today, Kellen? I'm gonna play a game, but the thing is, the winner of our game wins food today, not coins. That's all I got right now. Would that be okay?
The child nods slowly, and his eyes flicker with possible purpose.
Well then, come with me, you alley cat.
And Moxie starts skipping away.
I'm not an alley cat.
But the boy slowly stands up.
No, not an alley cat, but Cali cat.
She starts skipping away as if she were off on some grand adventure. A smile tugs at the edges of the boy's face even as he gets up and scurries after the pink-skinned tiefling.
That's not my name.
Our montage speeds up, showing Moxie and Callan, sporadic encounters at the market, in the alleyways, at the tavern doorstep. Sometimes Callan works for her, sometimes they refuse, but each time there's a sense of understanding between them. Moxie watches over Callan, offering a hand, but never pushing too hard, just as Rhapsody once did for her. And then Callan would be gone, maybe for a week or a month or nigh on a year before Moxie might see him again. And then, about 5 years ago, Callan never came back. Occasionally, Moxie and Rhapsody whisper about the gray-eyed half-elven boy, hoping against the odds that he found a family somewhere in Ironspire. The night is dark and starless thanks to the low clouds that seem to make the side-by-side buildings in this sector of Ironspire seem even closer together. Upon the wind, the smell of chimney smoke struggles with the smell of coming rain. Most of the shutters have been closed for some time now. It's after closing time at the siren song. There's a patterned knock at the door. And Moxie, you know what this means. It's probably payment time to the Sapphire Society.
So I am going to lean the broom I was using to sweep the floor up against the wall, dip back behind the counter and grab an envelope that has what I anticipate I should be paying today, and go over and open the door.
And there you see
a young half-elf with kind of longish black hair and piercing gray eyes.
Sable, here, I've got your taxes right here.
Thank you, Mox. How's it been here at the Siren Song?
You know, it's been okay. I kicked a couple of Neanderthals out a couple of days ago, but it's been pretty quiet besides that.
That's good. Mind if I come in for a moment?
Oh, sure. I can get you a tea, a shot of something. What do you want?
I'll take a shot of whiskey.
And so she'll go back and she will grab the whiskey bottle by the bottom and kind of flip it over in her hand to pour a couple of shots. throw it and catch it in her other hand, put it back on the bar, and then use her tail to slide one down to Sable and keep one for herself.
I will tuck away the owed money into my belt that has a specific pouch on it and secure the latch on it and catch the drink as it slides down. Now, Mox, you know you don't have to perform any tricks for me.
You gotta keep the muscles loose, and at some point in time it also just becomes I couldn't turn it off if I wanted to.
I feel that. I'll down the shot of whiskey.
Moxie holds hers up, and to your health, Sable, and we'll shoot it as well.
So Sable, maybe you're lingering for a moment because you don't want to, but you know you have to let Moxie know that what's in the pouch probably isn't enough this time.
Now, Mox, you know I don't linger around here very often.
Well, I just thought you were a glutton for companionship.
If only. We're gonna need a little something extra this time. Remember that problem I came about last time?
Oh, the kids, yeah.
Anything else come up about it?
I don't get a lot of business with kids around here. I haven't seen anything new.
That's unfortunate, Mox. These kids are going missing around your pot.
Oh, Sable, you know, I didn't find any kids, but I have heard a rumor.
What's your rumor about?
I heard a rumor about a god taking bribes.
I kind of chuckle a little to myself. Mox, sweetie honey, what god in the city doesn't take bribes?
Oh, you can't blame a girl for trying.
I can't, and you know you're one of my favorites. You know I've always told you that.
Oh, fine. And she will go back around behind the bar, open the till, pull part of the drawer out, like the setting inside the drawer, go behind and grab some extra coinage, put the tray back in the drawer, look over at Sable, and say, will 5 extra do it, or do I need more? Because all I got is 5 extra. You're killing me here.
I'll take 5 extra this once. If not, if you don't have anything else for me next time I come around.
I'll get some more information about that god.
I'm gonna need more information about these children. They're going missing. You know it's important. We don't take kindly to that here at the Sapphire Society.
I'll see what Aria can find out from that fella she knows down the way. And she will flip 5 extra gold towards you in an unnecessarily elaborate way.
And I will dexterously catch it. All right, Mox. Be better prepared next time. I can't always guarantee your safety around here. You know that.
Well, it's ironic because I can always guarantee yours. You've always got a place here, Sable.
I know. I'll get up and put my drink back down at the bar, kind of push it a little bit back over to you, and start making my way towards the door.
As you open the door, there's kind of a misty drizzle that has started to fall outside, and that faint scent of chimney smoke has lost its battle with the rain and the mist in the air. And maybe Sable is just about to say goodbye or something like that when you hear a shout from outside somewhere, and it sounds like a young voice. And then a second later, you definitely hear a kid's voice that says, "Run, Deke, run!" And a man's voice that says, "Shut up!" from somewhere right outside.
I'll start to do that jerk reaction of reacting immediately before I turn back. Mox, gonna need your help.
I'm gonna need that 5 gold back.
And let's roll for initiative.
I got a 13.
That's 7.
All right. Sable definitely responds
Which makes sense as they
quicker.
were standing outside the door.
It does. It makes perfect sense. He's standing right there at the door for sure. So you're able to react first. So go right ahead.
I got a clear pinpoint on where the sound was coming from.
Out the door and to the left, you know that just at the end of the building here, there's an alleyway.
Okay. I'm going to rush off, pulling out my rapier as I move. And coming around the corner, what do I see?
Yeah, you can just get to the alleyway entrance that's there, and you see stumbling toward you, like just kind of right at your feet. Maybe he slips on the just becoming wet cobblestones. You see what looks like a human boy, maybe 6 years old. He's got long, tangled maybe it was auburn hair, but it's completely filthy. And he just falls right there at your feet. Behind him, about 10 feet away, is what looks like an adult human male who's wearing a dark colored, close-fitting, sleeveless vest and some loose-fitting trousers, but he's got a thick weapons belt around his waist, and there's a short sword and a dagger on it. He's also got something in his hand. Just at first glance, you can't tell what it is. And with his other hand, he's got a second child by the nape of the neck. She looks like a human girl, a couple years younger than the boy. Her hair is black, tightly curled. So that's your movement rate. It takes you right up there to the entryway of the alley.
I'm going to keep an eye on the boy who is at my feet, and with my other hand, pull out my dagger as well and say to the human man across from me, I think you better rethink your actions soon.
You just need to stay out of family business. These are my kids.
And the boy at your feet go, he's not my dad!
Could I do some sort of insight, maybe?
Sure, 100%. See if you get better than a 6.
9.
Very good. So yeah, you can tell, not very believable from the adult.
Sure thing, bud. And then, can I still do potentially an attack action?
Sure.
Okay. With my opposite hand, I would like to throw my dagger at him. Kind of get like a good space where the kid isn't from him. Gonna be an 8.
Okay.
So
misses. Maybe you're worried about the little girl that he has in his hands, something like that. What's your passive perception?
13.
Very good. You think what is in his hand is a sap.
Sap?
Like a leather pouch kind of thing that usually has weights of some type in it, and it's used to smack people in the
We've
back
got a
of the
sock
head.
full of quarters.
Yeah, exactly.
And as I watch the dagger sail past him, I'm gonna say, I won't miss again. Drop her.
Very good. This guy standing here, he says, now listen, Deke, you know your dad is going to give you a beating like you've never had in your life. You don't turn around and come back here right now. And that's an 18 on the die versus 6 from the little boy. And he looks up at you, Sable, and then glances back and then looks up at you and then glances back. You can see the fear in this little kid's eyes. And he stands up and then starts taking a couple steps back away from you toward this guy that's there. And now, Moxie, maybe you're coming out of the door. What's going on? You heard this noise. Sable ran off around the corner.
I'm gonna do the same action. As I run out, because I was behind the bar when Sable had left because I was grabbing money, so I'm just gonna grab spare dagger off the bar and head out the door following behind them. And as far as I can get, chasing after Sable.
Yeah, probably about halfway down the building, so you can see Sable standing there at the entranceway to the alley, looking and talking to people that are in there. You could maybe do a double move.
Right,
and
I think I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
So I guess I will go ahead and double move and get over there to Sable, and then I can see the adult, little girl, little boy, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Does the adult have gloves on?
No, he does not.
Is he marked on the back of his left hand?
His left hand he's got wrapped up in the nape of the neck of the young girl that is in front, so you can't.
I can't see. Do I recognize them just by their face?
Go ahead and roll some type of intelligence insight. What do you think fits best?
I feel like insight.
Yeah.
Oh no, only a 12.
Yeah, you don't not recall. Maybe it's the darkness, the weather.
Yeah.
As a tiefling, do you have dark vision?
60 feet.
Yeah, very good.
But he's still all in black and white and gray, like hard to see.
What's your passive perception?
11.
11.
So-
Okay, very nice.
Yeah, not better. But I am going to look, and the little boy is right at Sable's feet. So I'm going to look at the little boy, and I'm going to say, you don't worry about him. We'll worry about him. Go on inside, and we'll get your sister.
Roll me some type of however you think you might be affecting this little boy's emotions.
Persuasion, maybe?
Persuasion, sure.
Wait. Heroic inspiration's a thing, right? Can I use it? Is that?
Heroic inspiration, yes, you can.
Yeah, because I rolled a 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dear listener. And I don't want to roll one on this little boy. That's sad. It's another one. He's too scared.
Oh, yeah, just the normal Moxie charm, the normal, hey, it's gonna be okay. It is not working. There is a deep-seated, intimidated fear inside this little boy.
Do I still have a bonus action left?
Sure.
Just talking. And I'm gonna give Sable some Bardic.
Thank you.
Ooh, some Bardic inspiration.
I only use that once.
Once in the next hour.
Okay.
And you can add it on ability checks and attacks.
And so that brings us to the top of the initiative order, Sable.
About how far away is he from me?
This guy's about 10 feet back. He's about 10 feet in front of you.
I've got more than enough movement for that. How, wide is this alleyway?
It's a 10-foot wide alley.
10 foot wide. Okay. I'm actually gonna rush out and try to run pretty fast to get behind him. But as I'm passing him, I want to, on his side, stab with my rapier. 15.
Yeah, you stab, and he's got some type of armor, but because you're dashing by his side, it slips up and catches him in the arm.
Okay, so that's 9 piercing damage.
Ooh.
And then because I hit with my Vex ability, my next attack against him has advantage.
Awesome. You feel you must have not caught him in the arm, but maybe in the armpit. It goes deep into him, and he winces in. He's in serious trouble, you can tell. That was a nigh fatal strike.
And then as I pull my rapier back out, I end up behind him and press the blade against the direct center of his back.
Okay. Moxie, passive perception of 11.
11.
That's enough to see another figure step up from behind some barrels that are behind Sable and this guy, and he takes a swing with a sap right at the back of Sable's head. And as you step to put your dagger up against this guy's back, it just misses the back of your head.
Sable, watch a 6.
Now, the first guy that you attacked, he turns around to face you and says, "Get him, master!" And those two guys are flanking you. So they are gonna roll. Does a 16 hit?
A 16 will hit.
He takes the dagger that he has in his hand and does 5 points of damage. And what is Sable's armor class and hit points?
15 armor class, and now I'm at a 5
And down
HP.
to 5 hit points. All right. The little boy that is at the edge of the alleyway that Moxie turned to, he's frozen now. He intended evidently to go back over there, but now that's a very dangerous area. He doesn't know what to do, and he's frozen there. The little girl is likewise very fearful now, even though she appeared to be the strong one earlier. She's being gripped by this guy, but doesn't move, doesn't seem to try to flinch. She's just trying to hunker down and stay out of the way of this damage that's being thrown around her. Moxie, it's your turn.
Okay, I have some more information now. He's the name master. Rest assured, I'm not going to ask you, do I know this guy, to every guy we meet in this campaign. But we're next door to my bar.
Right.
We're in my neighborhood.
Right.
Do I know of this guy? Have I heard this name? Anything like this?
What skill do you think?
That feels more like a history.
Yeah, I think so too.
Which is a +0. Okay, a 16.
A 16. You know, a couple weeks back, there was some really shady guy. Might be the same guy. He didn't cause any trouble, but you noticed he wasn't there to have an entertainment night. He was just a little too attentive to things going on at the bar, now that you think back about it.
Okay, and I should have asked, do I recognize this kid?
I'll give you that if you want to. Go ahead and roll. Probably the answer is no. The girl with the black, tight, curly hair that he's got a hold of, and both of them, by the way, look like kids of the street. Both of them look a little destitute. Their clothes are filthy.
Right.
So.
If I were to step in front of Deke,
Yes.
how far away from the hubbub would I be?
About 10 feet.
Excellent. So I'm going to step in front of Deke, look at him, make eye contact, try his skin. Go on inside. I'll get you, sister. Don't worry about her. And then Moxie kind of reaches out with her hand in a way that looks almost like she's maybe flipping a bottle in the air like she was earlier. but she doesn't have a bottle in her hand, obviously. But a spout of flame comes from her fingers and heads towards the first man while I release this firebolt. 13.
That is exactly what you need to hit. You catch him right in the chest.
See how damage does. 7.
He only had 1 hit point left. It hits his chest, and he just screams in pain and then collapses down to the ground, releasing the dark-haired, brown-skinned girl that he was holding on to.
And I shout in her direction to get inside.
She maybe has a stronger spirit about herself. She immediately starts scrambling away toward you, goes over. Poor Deke is still just standing there. And she's like gathering him up. Oh, come on, come on. That brings us back up to the top of the round. Sable, there is an unknown assailant that's right behind you.
I am going to spin around. I no longer have my advantage, but I will try to do another rapier attack.
Okay.
15.
That hits.
6 piercing.
Now you know, assuming he also has armor, you are able to stab him right in that upper arm, and it hurts quite a bit.
And then a part of my action with the nick property for the dagger, I'd like to pull out my second dagger and do another stab as well. I'm gonna use the Bardic Inspiration. Let's make that an 18 to hit.
You have lined him up. That is a possibly deadly shot.
2 piercing.
Okay. You go to slash across his throat, and he leans back just enough. It cuts him, and there's definitely blood, but it's not a fatal wound. He says,
Hey, we don't want no trouble. We don't want no trouble. We're just okay. We don't want no trouble.
and he starts backing up.
I'm gonna point my dagger at him. What do you want them kids for?
I'm telling you, they belong to their dad. It's right. We want their dad. We're their uncle, and they need to come back home.
Your partner, who's dead behind me, tried to give the same story. You want to think about that again?
No. And he's taken a few more steps. He's now moved probably 10, 15 feet back away from you. He's moving at half speed back.
I'm gonna still advance with him.
Okay.
Part of my movement.
There we go. And I think that's attack and move then, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So not able to attack again, but still keep following him.
Right. Not letting him get away, not letting him create that distance between you guys. The boy Deke finally, with the girl's help, gets his wits about himself, and those two get to their feet, look up at Moxie, and then dash around the corner out of the alleyway. And it's Moxie's turn.
I will spend all of my movement, or as much as I need to expend, to become level with Sable.
About 20 feet.
And then look this guy in the eye. And he's got a sock full of quarters too. Can I see his hands is what I'm getting at.
This guy had a dagger. And you can see his hands.
Is he a bad guy?
What's your perception? You want to roll a perception, try and spot some type of something on his hand?
Yeah, I have
Okay.
a +1. 12.
Yeah, you can see the back of his hand in your special sight. Doesn't reveal anything to you.
Okay, so he's too much of a low life to even come into my bar.
Maybe so.
So I'm going to look him in the eyes, and I'm going to say, we know you ain't their uncle. We know you're gathering them for somebody else, but we also know you're just doing your job. You're not the one leading this. You ain't got the smarts, okay? You're gonna give us a name, the name of your superior as high up as you can think. And when you give us that name, we're gonna consider letting you go scot-free.
What am I supposed to tell them? We're supposed to bring them kids back.
Honestly, I would recommend leaving town.
Leaving town?
Leaving town. Getting a fresh start. You see, here you're a criminal, and not a very good one. Go somewhere smaller, maybe. Small fish in a small pond. That's appropriate. Here, small fish, big pond.
Go ahead and roll me like a persuasion check.
23.
Perfect. You have gotten into this guy. It makes a lot of sense. He understands it's big trouble. He slowly lowers his dagger and he says, Boo. Boo is their superior. Boo's the one who orders us to bring them kids.
Where you take them to?
We take them to Boo down by the docks.
Down by the docks. You've been an excellent help. She will reach a hand out to shake his hand.
And he is dumb as a box of rocks, furrows his brow, and switches the dagger to the other hand, right? He's very, very cautious, but then he reaches out and goes to shake your hand. Very cautious. You can tell he's ready to move any moment.
And because this is something that Sable definitely knows happens, Sable definitely notices, as Moxie shakes his hand, an imperceptible pink and blue glow happens on the back of his hand, and two intertwined S's appear there shortly for just the briefest of seconds before seeming to fade away.
Is it something he might have a chance to notice, or is it so...
He cannot notice because he's not vulnerable to himself.
Talk to us about this version of Arcane Mark, this thing you're doing.
Mechanically, this is just a little bit of flavor that we dreamed up so Moxie can mark the bad guys. So if you are vulnerable to a person, or if that person is trying to be aggressive, malicious, or harmful towards you in any way, and they have this mark, you will be able to see the mark on the back of their left hand. But if you're not vulnerable to that person, you can't see it.
Very nice.
Yeah. And then I will let go of his hand, and I'm going to say, it's been nice doing business with you. I have every intention of letting you go scot-free, and I'm going to go back inside my establishment. The Sapphire Society might have a different idea. And she's going to leave Sable there and give Sable a wink as she passes by, and she's going to go around the corner, but she's going to stay around the corner. So she's not in sight, but if Sable said, she could come back.
Right. Yeah, he's got this gruesome wound on his shoulder, and then he's got this slash that's very close to his throat. He's bleeding there with that. Any last thoughts, Sable?
See, I knew you could talk, and I'd like to make a rapier attack against him.
Okay. As you are getting ready to stab with a rapier, a crossbow bolt suddenly explodes out of the front of this guy's chest. As in, like, it seems planted in there, like it came from behind you and at the angle above somewhere. And so would you like to make a perception check, turn and look, or anything?
I would. 12.
Up on the roof of the Siren Song is some figure swathed in black, kind of has a cape, and he's lowering a crossbow, and he flings something out of his hand, and it kind of drifts down in the drizzle toward you. Something heavier than paper or parchment, something, and it drifts down toward you, and he just stands there.
I'll grab it, keeping my eyes on him, and still kind of maintaining as much of eye contact as I can, but kind of keeping them in the corner of my eye. I'll read the piece of paper.
There you go. Go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
12.
So as you glance down, you know there's movement up there, but in that brief second that you look down and look back up, that figure has ducked down, probably not jumped somewhere, but is gone. But you caught the movement just barely out of the corner of your eye, 12 versus 13 on the die. So as you look at this thing that has floated down, it's a playing card. It's what is the equivalent of a 2 of clubs.
Do I know this to be some sort of calling card?
Oh,
or anything?
if you could do some type of lore or knowledge, and I think in our Patreon,
The lore roll was an 18.
Oh yeah, from Andrew Sheffy, I believe.
this may be something that goes back to whenever you were like even a kid. There has been known to be in Ironspire what is basically a vigilante, a hero of the people named Baccarat. It's a game of chance. It's a casino game. So it's a card game. And he hasn't been seen in years.
Seeing that figure no longer on the roof, I'll look down at the two bodies, give a private shrug to myself, and walk out of the alleyway. Do I still see Moxie standing there?
Yeah, she would just be standing just like leaning against the side of the building with one foot kind of crossed over the other ankle. And I imagine with the weather moving in, the Siren Song sign is swinging a little bit and creepy, but like in a super cool, like jazz way.
I'll reach into my pocket and hand you 5 gold back. Well, you got us the information we needed, so I guess here's this bag.
I doubt we'll hear any more from them anytime soon.
You keep those kids safe.
What's the plan? Is someone gonna come by looking for them, or should I make sure they get somewhere they can be?
There is a point of interest that there are 2 dead bodies in your alleyway.
That seems like the Sapphire Society's problem, not mine.
I'll take care of those in the alleyway. You take care of those kids.
Sounds like a deal to me. I think Rhapsody can find somewhere for them to go.
Sable, you keep this encounter to yourself, and the more you ponder on it, that was an 18 on the die earlier, you remember that the stories of Baccarat have been around for a long time, like almost since the time when magic faltered, some 200 years ago. He's come and go here in the city. Is he a long-lived race of people? Is he something out of time? But he always seems to show up whenever the lowest class of people in the city are in dire straits. Perhaps a little bit later after your guys' conversation, 5 minutes, 6, 7 minutes, whatever it might be, you step back around the alley and the bodies are gone.
Red Dirt D&D Curse of the Clockwork City is Brooke Bullock as our Dungeon Master, Kiri Hester as Moxie, Connor Shenold as Sable, Johnny Payne as August E. Graymore, and I'm Michael Cross as Dr. Elias Stone. Our theme music comes from Ovani Sound. Our sound effects and additional music courtesy of Jeffrey McBride, Monument Studios, Describe.com, and TabletopAudio.com. Dice for the Red Dirt D&D cast provided by ST Way Gaming. You can find us at reddirtdnd.com. If you are enjoying Red Dirt D&D, make sure to subscribe, rate us, and leave a comment. Also, tell your friends about Red Dirt D&D. You can also support the show at patreon.com/reddirtdnd at whatever giving level works best for you. Join us next time as we discover more secrets in the Clockwork City.